So, you've gone into Champ Select, picked your champion, sorted your runes, and chosen your summoner spell. The loading screen starts as you're whisked away onto Summoner's Rift. You land on the launch pad of the fountain, the gates will fall, and you rush forward into your lane, ready to commence in battle with the enemy team. But then the chat box pops up, with your teammates spamming your name. You have no clue why until you read the message, "You have no items." Confused, you hold tab to see everyone has bought items while your inventory sits sad and empty. You know you have time to recall, so you smash B and open up the shop. Only issue is you have no idea what to buy and the minions are spawning. You can see that Grievous has mana, so you buy a Doran's ring and head out onto the map. You proceed to get absolutely bodied by the 200k mastery point Riven 1 trick because you do 0 damage. The champ isn't the issue, I'm afraid. It's just that you suck at League of Legends. Well, at least the shopping part of it. Items are one of the core components of League and generally deciding factors as to who wins fights and exchanges. Even a 10 AD advantage from an extra longsword can allow you to completely dominate a lane and pick up kills. Items all cost various amounts of gold. Cheaper component items with small stat boosts can be upgraded and combined to create very powerful items with big stats and additional passive and active effects. You can have up to 6 items in your inventory at one time, which will complete your build. Items are bought with gold, which can be acquired passively over time, by last hitting minions and monsters, by taking down enemy champions, by destroying enemy turrets, and by doing support item quests. We'll talk more about those later. To understand what items to build, let's talk about stats. Your basics are health, mana, AD, AP, armor, magic resist, attack speed, crit strike chance, ability haste, and move speed. Health, or commonly known as HP, is pretty simple. Fall to 0 HP and you're dead. Mana allows you to use abilities, with each ability having a unique cost that will normally change the more points you put into that ability. Clearly this is the most useful on spellcasters, and the most powerful mana items build out of Tear of the Goddess, a scaling item which transforms to give huge stat boosts after you've hit enough abilities. Do note there are many manaless champs in League who gain no benefit for buying extra mana and will be a waste of gold. To check whether your champ uses mana, look below your health bar. If that bar is blue, then you use mana. AD or attack damage is a stat that modifies how strong your basic or auto attacks are, and also certain abilities. You'll know whether your ability has an AD scaling on it if you hover over the icon and there's orange coloured text. AP or ability power modifies spell power for those who have an AP scaling. You can tell whether your ability has an AP scaling the same way as you would do AD, except the text will be the colour dark blue. Armor allows you to soak up more physical damage from either auto attacks or physical damage abilities, and magic resist sturdies yourself against magic damage abilities. Do note that these scale logarithmically, meaning 1 point of additional armor between 20 to 30 armor matters much more than 1 extra point above 100, otherwise tanks with over 200 armor would be unkillable. Attack speed is how many auto attacks you can get off in 1 second. Buying this is the best when you want your champ to auto as much as possible in fights. AD carries and fighters fit this build perfectly. There is a cap of 2.5 attack speed, meaning you can attack up to 2.5 times per second. However, the lethal tempo keystone rune raises that cap to 10. Critical strike chance or crit chance is a percentage that can allow your auto attacks to do bonus damage. For example, Cloak of Agility gives 15% crit chance, so having one will mean every auto will have 15% chance of being enhanced. Ability Haste reduces the cooldown of your abilities, allowing you to cast them more often. Move speed is, well, the faster you move. Every champ in the game has a different base level move speed, so buying additional move speed in the form of boots or other items allow you to run away, catch up to the enemy, or move around the map quicker. Move speed is one of the most underrated stats in the game, and if you have 300 gold lying about once you recall in the early game, you should definitely pick up boots most of the time. And that's the basic stats. These will normally decide which items you want to pick up and in what order you get them in. There are other stats that you can buy that are very impactful, but they generally matter less in the decision making, but can be very strong depending on the enemy champions. One of the changes Riot brought in with Season 11 was a smart shop, which can recommend items for you based on everyone's buying patterns of that champ. You'll find this in the left hand tab at the top of the shop, and reduces the time you need to think about what you're building. Unfortunately, I can't teach you the names of items and what they all do, but you'll pick that up as you play the game. One thing I do want to cover though are the starting items. Very cost efficient items that don't build into anything else and enable you to lane well and adapt your early playstyle. There are 11 common starting items, with the 3 Doran's items, which are purchased by those looking to last hit minions in lane. Cull is a scaling item, which gives you a small amount of sustain and gives a boost of gold once you kill 100 minions. There are 4 support items, which naturally upgrade themselves to hold wards, once you've completed a quest of either harassing the enemy or killing minions. Dark Seal is an item which grants bonus AP if you get a takedown on enemy champions, but lose the stacks if you die. And the 2 Jungle Knives, which let junglers upgrade their smites. These jungle knives are essential starters for junglers as they provide healing and EXP from and damage to monsters. And I don't care what Riot tells me, Tear of the Goddess is not a starting item, and please don't start with it. Just first recall in lane with 700 gold and pick up Tear and boots, it's so much better. Now we move on to the most important item of any build, the mythics. Mythic items are designed to be what you base your playstyle around, and have good stats and a very powerful active or passive ability. They're so powerful that you can only have one of them at a time, and they allow you to boost your champ's strengths to crazy amounts. Are you a squishy artillery mage who does a ton of damage but gets killed in a second every fight? Then Crown of the Shattered Queen provides a ton of defensive power without forcing you to buy in early Zhonya's. Are you a fighter who's having trouble existing inside the enemy's backline? Gore Drinker gives you an active that heals you for every enemy champ surrounding you. Or maybe you're an enchanter who struggles keeping everyone alive in fights. Moonstone Renewer auto heals your lowest HP ally as long as you're participating in the brawl. Mythics are usually picked up first because of their power, but there are cases where certain items are just better for your champ to get early, such as Leona's building Anathema's Chains, a legendary item, first, as it neutered the enemy AD carry. You'll get the hang of what all items do, but there are a few I want to highlight just so that you're aware of them, as they are super powerful in certain situations. First of all, the Grievous wounds items. These items all apply an effect which reduces the enemy's healing by 40 or 60% depending on what you buy, and are a must into a heavy heal team, or can just be bought to deal with one big healing threat, such as a fed Vladimir or Aatrox. At the moment, healing is quite popular, with champs kits containing it being in the meta, and a big variety of items that grant lifesteal or omnivamp, so every class has been made to have access to healing reduction items. Another group of items that make enchanters cry are Serpent's Fang, a lethality item, and Shadow Flare, a magic damage item, which counter comps with a lot of shields by cutting their effectiveness. And the rest of the legendary items I leave up to you. One important thing to do if you're taking the game more seriously is to not autopilot when thinking about builds. Once you learn what most champs do, you can begin predicting what they're going to build, which lets you optimize into them. If you're a top laner and the enemy top and jungle are both AP champs, picking up an early pair of Mercury Treads provides a quick jolt of MR that can allow you to survive a 1v2. Also, keep clicking tab throughout the game to check on your opponent's items. I've lost so many duels because I didn't check to see if the enemy Yone had finished his immortal shield bow, or that a Syndra that I was trying to burst had picked up a stopwatch. Finally, I want to touch on trinkets and consumables. Trinkets are recharging items that you can use, which start off being bound to the 4 button. These are either wards, which you put down and they reveal a surrounding area, or a sweeper, which reveals any wards or invisible traps around you. They are free and can be swapped in the shop. Consumables are either necessary or luxuries. Health potions come in 3 forms and provide you with sustain and are used mostly in lane. Control wards are wards that double up as sweepers, however they are visible and can be destroyed easily. Then we get to the Elixirs. These are the end game consumables, which are very strong but only last 3 minutes. These are bought when you're either at full build, 6 items, or a game winning fight is about to take place, and you know you need to spend all your gold on stats. I should note that you can create an item page in the client, which will be for a single champ, so that you can have a custom build pop up in the shop. But honestly, I haven't used that feature in 3 years, and I don't think it's massively useful. Well, that's items. Hopefully you understand the shop better now and can make a decent build. If you found this video helpful, then please give it a like and comment on what you'd like to see of the series going forward. Now, go out onto the Rift with your inventory full, and I'll meet you in the next episode where we traverse the jungle. Thanks for watching.